The Tao of Self-Confidence, Episode 134. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of successful women finding their inner journey to self-confidence 5 days a week. Subscribe to our newsletter by visiting thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Well, hello friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap Chan, and today I have a special lady, all the way from Singapore. She is a health psychologist, a nutrition consultant, and she also has her own company, which is called Healthology. And without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to YY Lo. YY, how are you today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more about yourself to our listeners.
Hi Sheena. An honor to be able to do this interview with you. I'm a mother of 2 children. And I'm currently a health psychologist, and I'm practicing together as a life coach as well. I do coaching, I do training, and I specialize in all health-related issues. Some of the area of specialization I'm doing right now is on the weight management program, stress management, and also on anti-aging therapy.
Thanks for sharing that. And what's your cultural background?
My cultural background is a little bit, complicated, I guess. I'm not really, I don't know really Chinese, so everyone always asks me, am I Chinese? But my immediate parents, they are both Chinese, but my maternal grandmother was adopted, and she doesn't look Chinese. She looks kind of Peranakan, so we don't really know where she came from. Maybe, I think, mixed Indonesian Chinese with some Malay blood, I guess. And my paternal side, my paternal grandfather, although he's a Chinese, he's apparently 6 feet tall. And that's really tall for a Chinese. So I guess I can still consider myself as Chinese since both parents are Chinese. And I speak Cantonese.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And yeah, 6 feet tall for a Chinese man is pretty tall.
Yeah.
It's above average,
yes.
For sure.
Yes.
So what would be your favorite self-confidence quote?
For me, excellence is a structure. If one person can do it, it is possible for another to learn and do it too. That to me is an important belief to have, because this means that anyone can do it if they believe they can. Because excellence is a structure, and another person can learn to be excellent too, as long as the person believes that he or she can do it and is willing to do it.
I love that quote. That's the first time I've heard of it. And it's true, right? If we can see just one person doing it, I mean, it's possible, right? Whether it's running a marathon, skydiving, or just having their own business, like anything's possible. And it does have to start with your belief that you can do it. You can go out there and get it done. So thanks for sharing that. And in your own words, how would you define self-confidence?
For me, I redefine self-confidence as not being confident in just myself, because I think in a way, I went through a pretty difficult journey myself about the level of confidence that I have for the things that I do. I think all of us need kind of confidence to be anchored in something greater than ourselves. And I learned that most of the time, the confidence didn't really come for self, but more from probably begin with external factors, like people who have showed confidence in us, or it probably start with people who plant a seed in us or believe in us. And when we go through those positive experiences, it is built upon. And my trust is not in myself, and most of the time I question my own abilities. And by doing that, I find myself keep on learning new things. And the sense of inadequacy actually keep me on my toes, and the demand of excellence in whatever I'm doing keep me at the forefront of learning and constantly re-educating myself, finding new therapy, what is the most effective for my clients. And I think it just helped me to constantly learn new things. I believe when we start to think that we are expert in our own minds, that's when we stop learning and become overconfident. Yeah. So for me, my confidence is in this belief that, I'm a believer, I'm a Christian, so I believe there's a God and He can do everything and He can never fail me. So I think my confidence is anchored in that, and every day I go through life knowing that there's a greater power that's behind me and He cannot fail me.
So I think that's my definition of confidence.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that definition. And yeah, sometimes we do need belief in others to build our confidence, whether it's someone who just says, I believe in you. That makes a huge difference, right? When someone can look into your eyes and just say those words, it can really change a person's life. So thanks for sharing that. And, what was your life like before the discovery of self-confidence?
Okay, like I shared, I said that my journey was an easy one because it started from childhood. I experienced many challenges as a child. I think part of that caused me to also probably go into psychology. It's about also trying to understand and make sense of what people go through in life. So as a child, I lived in quite a volatile family environment, and my parents quarrel most of the time. And when I was being sent to nursery, probably when I was 3 years old, a kindergarten teacher actually threatened and did it and locked me in a dark room because she said I was crying too much during the first few days of school, and I was only 3. Until today, I can actually remember the picture in my mind. So I realized the power of visualization and how that is very important. So I was actually highly anxious and had problems going to school. I had social phobia and I was shunned from people and hide from strangers. That continued to my primary school, and until my mom actually brought me to see a psychologist, which I greatly resisted. I didn't think that the psychologist actually helped me. But I think as I grew up, I slowly overcome the issue when I see how my grandmother was tired out, just trying to handle my problems, going to school. And I was very, very close to my maternal grandma. Finally, I told myself, for her sake, I have to overcome all these negative emotions. And eventually it helped that I have good teachers in school to help me to focus on my academic studies. And slowly my confidence built up. And I think like what I shared, it's important for people to believe in, to plant a seed in the first place, because I had a lady, she's like a mentor to me. She actually shared with me, she looked into my eyes one day and she said this, she said, "Do you know that you're actually a leader?" And I never ever think of myself as a leader before she said that to me. So from then on, I think I was only in my primary school, and I actually really remember that until today. And that sets a difference in my life. And from then on, I continue to build on the confidence through doing well in my studies. And at the same time, of course, finding Jesus in my life helped me a lot. And by doing that, I grown to have many good friends in church that helped me through the journey as well.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that story. And, after these discoveries, like other than what you are doing right now, what else, what's your life like now?
Okay, now actually having overcome those things in my life, I can empathize someone who struggles with emotional issues, with phobias, with just the lack of self-confidence, or just need help psychologically, mentally, or socially. So Healthology is actually birthed out of my passion of helping people. I just love to see how I can make a difference in other people's life. So I actually took a master's and came on top of my cohort for my master's program. I got a distinction. It was very rewarding and satisfactory. I feel really encouraged. And from then, I constantly challenge myself to be better. Now that I have 2 kids, and there's a greater need for me to feel that I have to constantly grow as a mother, communicate with my children, and I learn a lot from my kids by communicating with them. And sometimes children are so simple, but yet they can say things that shock me and cause me to reflect on myself. Right now, as an entrepreneur, coach, consultant, and psychologist, I have personal belief that nothing is impossible if my God says nothing is impossible for him. So before Healthology, I had another business which I just sold. It was a spa business. It probably didn't do as well as I thought I could, although failure was not an option to me at that point of time. But I realized that failure it may not be a bad thing. It's only a feedback. And from there, we can actually learn more things in our life. and keep on moving and encourage ourselves to continue to do our best and not be, overshadowed by bad experiences. So I continue to push on and believe that I can do better in Healthology. But of course, if I am tired out, I learned that if I need to rest, I should just rest.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And, to the woman who's listening to your episode, she may be in her own journey of self-confidence. What would be that one tip you would give to her?
For me, one tip, put no confidence on the self, and your confidence will not depend on yourself. Look outward, or constantly look outward for people that you can bless, people that are greater than ourselves.
Awesome. Well, that's a lovely tip. Thanks for sharing that. And YY, if our listeners wanted to connect with you and learn, more about what you do, is there any links or social media profiles we can connect with?
Definitely. My personal Facebook is y.y.low. Don't ask me why there's a dot because I don't know. Somehow when I created the account, they didn't let me put YYLow. I think someone else had a name. Or you can go to my Facebook pages, which is Healthology, Healtology, or Healing Psychology. I've got 2 Facebook page. Or Instagram, just find me in Instagram too at Healthology.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And to our listeners, if you want to connect with YY, you can also head on over to the selfconfidence.com and search for YY's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else we talked about. And I just want to thank YY for taking the time to share her story with us.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. It's great having you on. And to our listeners, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to another amazing episode of the Tao of Self-Confidence. Check out our resources to help you jumpstart your inner journey to self-confidence by visiting thetaoofselfconfidence.com.